Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's video topic, I wanted to take a quick moment to let you all know about World Watercolor Month. If you have been around my channel for a while, you'll already be familiar with this event. For those of you who haven't heard about it before, World Watercolor Month was founded by Charlie O'Shields over at Doodle Wash. Every July, the community celebrates our favorite medium. There is a 31-day challenge if you'd like to participate with the official prompts, but it is certainly not required. Any watercolor artwork uploaded to social media during the month of July can be tagged with the hashtag World Watercolor Month to share your creations with others. In addition to sharing our passions with others in the community, another huge component of World Watercolor Month is raising awareness and funds for children's art programs. This year, World Watercolor Month is raising funds for the International Child Art Foundation. 17 artists have donated artwork to the World Watercolor Month shop, where 100% of proceeds from these limited edition zipper pouches are donated to ICAF. You'll likely see familiar names in the shop, including my own, along with other World Watercolor Month merch. Be sure to check out the shop before the end of July. It's only open till July 31st, and don't forget to tag all watercolor pieces on social media with the hashtag World Watercolor Month. Today we are going to be celebrating Pride. Unfortunately, a day late for Pride Month as I couldn't quite get the footage edited in time, but better late than not at all. I unfortunately missed last year's painting due to my surgery, but I have created two other Pride pieces here on the channel in the past. The first was a repaint of my Pride penguins in 2018. It was originally painted in 2015 in celebration of the United States legalizing same-sex marriages. The second was my own very quiet way of coming out in 2020 with my bi albatrosses. I have a long list of pieces that I want to add to this series, and my hope is that I will be able to contribute more throughout the year moving forward, not just during Pride Month each year. This month, I chose to focus on a piece in support of transgender people. I have had this concept in my mind for several years now, and it's the piece that I would have painted last year if I had been able to do so. Now more than ever with current events, I feel it's extremely important to speak out against injustices that are plaguing our country and lend support to others in our community. While some may think that this isn't a topic that relates to what I do here on my channel, A, I have always been one to speak up for what I believe is right here, and B, the human binary is just that, extremely human, and not even just human, it's only present in some societies. Unfortunately, one of those societies happens to be the one that I live in. The notion that there are only two genetic sexes, let alone two genders, which are completely socially constructed roles, is wildly and factually incorrect. Examples that break the gender binary can be seen not only in humans, but all across the animal kingdom. Given that, I had a plethora of animals to choose from for this piece, such as clownfish, cuttlefish, marsh harriers, and colobus monkeys, just to name a few. Some species can actually change their own biological sexes, while others may have more than two gender expressions. However, as you can see here, I went with a more recent human finding: lions. The two most famous cases that I was able to find information on are Mamariri in the Okavango Delta in Botswana, and Bridget, a lioness who started growing a mane at 18 years old at the Oklahoma City Zoo in the United States. However, they are not the only ones. In the case of the wild lions, there are at least 4 others in the Okavango Delta, according to resources cited in 2019. Mamariri not only appears male with their full mane, but they also exhibit deeper roars and take on behavioral roles traditionally exhibited by males in terms of leadership and protection. Plus, a group of lions is called a pride, so of course that's a nice bonus. For the reference image for this painting, I used my own photographs from my trip to the Kalahari in Botswana back in 2013. As a side note, we were supposed to go to the Okavango Delta, but severe weather and mass flooding had other plans, unfortunately. In the Kalahari, we came across a small group of lions that consisted of 3 male lions and 1 female, something that, even at the time, seemed a little unusual for their grouping. They all looked like young adults, so perhaps they were all from the same pride, with one of the presumed males in particular just barely growing in their mane. It was such a special experience, and I am so glad that I got to use those photographs for this piece. The colors that I used were obviously chosen to represent the Transgender Pride Flag created by Monica Helms in 1999. After testing several watercolor-specific combinations, I landed on Sennelier's Cobalt Violet Light Hue and Cinereous Blue. I also added a bit of Payne's Gray for some of the darker shadows. These paints were an absolute dream to work with. I always forget about Sennelier because I use so many earth tones, which isn't one of their strong areas. However, for the more spectral colors, they are just so dang lovely. They soften off like a dream and lift easily if something is spread out a bit too far, or in this case, when you decide that you want to entirely scrub and repaint the eyes to better match the vibe of the painting. My first attempt was a little bit too dark and I wanted to lighten up the values. As usual for me, the painting is on Arch's cold press watercolor paper, and I use silver black velvet round brushes in sizes 8 and 4. I don't want this video to fall short on important informative details, but as a cisgender person, I don't feel like I am an authoritative voice in this space. I do, however, hope that this video can do a couple of things. First, if you are a transgender person, genderqueer, non-binary, or fall anywhere in the LGBTQIA spectrum, you are welcome and safe here. If anyone claims differently in the comments, you best believe I'll mama bear it up in here. Secondly, if you are not as familiar as you'd like to be with these topics and want to learn more about how to support transgender people and the LGBTQIA+ community at large, I hope that this is a good starting place. I will put some links in the description that I hope will be helpful. And third, the world is brimming with hate right now. And I need you to stick with me for a moment. I swear we'll get to the positive part. It is a terrifying time to be alive in general for many people, and more specifically, and I can only speak to my own experience in my own country, to be a non-cis het white male in the United States, where we are watching the dominoes falling all around us. First, by our government successfully stripping away rights from every human with a uterus in this country, and then with some of them actively telling us to our faces that they're coming after us to try and strike down same-sex marriages, making being gay illegal again, and continuing to target transgender people's protections, safety, access to essential services, and even children's participation in sports. So coming back around to the positive part of this, it takes so little effort to be kind instead of hateful. Is that hate rooted in fear? Perhaps turn to education to inform yourself about what it is you don't understand. There is no transgender agenda other than staying safe, alive, and living in a body that feels right, which is something that most cisgender people take for granted on a daily basis. Allowing other people to be who they are doesn't cost you anything. So please choose kindness. Be a safe haven for your marginalized friends. Your acceptance could literally save someone's life. So yes, we are in a dumpster fire of awful right now. This is the worst timeline. I'm not saying that love and kindness are going to magically fix all of our problems. We have a long, difficult road to recovery, but love and kindness can change someone's life for the better. I really enjoyed this painting. If you'd like to have a print or sticker for yourself or a loved one, you can find them available for pre-order over in my Etsy shop. A portion of all sales will be donated to Outright Action International, an organization that is dedicated to protecting the rights of LGBTQIA people around the world. This next part is a little bit of a selfish ask. This video is likely to be demonetized due to its topic, and I'm still financially recovering from my cross-country move. If there's anything else in my shop while you're over there that you've considered ordering in the past, now would be a wonderfully helpful time to do so, and you have my sincerest gratitude. I know that I'm out of stock on a lot of popular items, but I literally can't afford to restock at the moment, so anything else that you have your eye on will help me get back on my feet. Thank you to each and every one of you for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing if you'd like to see more watercolor content, as well to my amazing patrons for being the ones to help keeping me going over here. Thank you for your kindness, and until next time, my friends, happy painting, happy Pride, and happy World Watercolor Month.